we are going to talk about advanced topics of cell biology. We have talked about some of these topics briefly in passing, but since this is an advanced course, we are going to look at many processes, many structures that we did not talk about or did not look at in more detail in the previous modules. So we are going to look at them more closely. The three topics that we are going to discuss is number one, cell adhesion. This topic deals with how cells integrate into tissue, how these cells attach to each other, and also non-cellular structures which are made up of molecules which these cells secrete. These molecules, which we have referred to them as extracellular matrix, for example, collagen, bone, they are all made up of extracellular matrix with small amount of cells contributing to these tissues. So we are going to talk about cell adhesion, and then we are going to talk about extracellular matrix. Believe it or not, extracellular matrix has a very important role in biology. They perform several functions. They can signal cells. They can regulate cellular behavior. Especially during early processes, during embryogenesis, during development, especially these molecules, extracellular matrix molecules, play a very important role. Then we are going to talk about cytoskeleton. Cytoskeleton gives cells different shapes. Skeleton of the cell is very important, just as important to cells as skeleton is to us. It gives us a specific shape because if you remove skeleton from an organism, basically you are left with a blob which does not have a specific shape. So it's not just the shape that is dependent upon these cytoskeletal elements. These elements play a very important role in, for example, organizing the cytoplasm. We'll talk about that. We will also talk about how these cytoskeletal elements can play a very important role in other processes. For example, during cell division, as we have seen, microtubules play an important role in separating the sister chromatids. Actin filaments, in association with myosin filaments, they form that contractile ring during cytokinesis that splits one cell into two. So understanding cytoskeleton is very fundamental part of cell biology. Now, since we'll be talking about processes and structures in detail, it might become that these details, everything in detail is boring. So these details, very fine details, might appear boring to you, but believe me, once you have absorbed all this material, you can call yourself bona fide cell biologist. You have already studied very important component of cell biology, which is cell signaling. Also, you have already studied protein targeting and vesicular transport. Now, with these three topics in detail, you should consider without any doubt that you are bona fide cell biologist, at least in theory. Practically learning cell biology is a different thing. Hopefully, you will get to that stage also at some point in your career. But additionally, there are other topics in cell biology that we won't have time to discuss in these series of modules, at least, namely cell division. We have talked about cell division, but believe me, devil is in the details. So once you look at the details of cellular division, especially in eukaryotes, how tightly regulated it is, how different components come together, and which tell cells when to divide and when not to divide, it is mind-boggling. Also, there are other topics in cell biology that we won't be able to cover, for example, development and also cancer biology. But hopefully, you will get to learn about those topics in a different course, perhaps with this university. So enjoy cell biology, and I will try to make it as interesting and as applied as I possibly can to keep your interest. So best of luck with this course.